Greetings everyone! Welcome to the Sonic the Hedgehog issue 86 review. This takes place a couple of issues after the Sonic Adventure adaptation. In fact, in the previous issue, our heroes were dealing with the fallout when Eggman sent Silver Sonic 2 to destroy them. They managed to not only stop the robot, but reprogrammed him to be Station Square's protector. On their way home, their ship crash-landed due to sabotage, and Sonic and Tails went out to do some reconnaissance. To make the reconnaissance fun, Sonic is making zigzag patterns for Tails to follow, but all it does is making Tails dizzy. What a friend Sonic is! Actually, Sonic is being a good friend to Tails because this is actually a minor training exercise to improve Tails' flight skills, and the two-tailed fox eventually gets the hang of it. While this is going on, someone's monologuing how their friendship is making them sick and how they can't wait to turn that joy into terror. The duo encounters some strong winds, which Tails can't fly against. It knocks Tails out of the air, but Sonic's able to catch him before he touches the ground. Sonic gives Tails a lecture about how he needs to keep up with his training in case a real crisis comes along. He doesn't doubt his little buddy's skills, it's that there's always room for improvement. They decide to take a lunch break. Sonic will get the Kingling going while Tails goes out for firewood. Time passes and Sonic realizes something's wrong. Sonic goes searching for his little buddy, but gets no response. We soon learn why as the monologuer from earlier makes his presence known to his organic counterpart. Yep, it's the one and only Metal Sonic, sporting a major redesign. And what a design this is! Do you think Archie Comics has room for a blue robot with an arm cannon? Anyway, after Knuckles wrecked him at the end of the Knuckles Chaotic Special, he was able to rebuild himself. Instead of going after Knuckles, his programming dictates that he must destroy Sonic first. And it begins with Tails' kidnapping. Sonic moves towards Metal Sonic, trying to get Tails' whereabouts, but the robotic doppelganger is always one step ahead of him.
You're too slow!
After being toyed with, Sonic notices the power gem on the chest and figures he has no chance. Metal Sonic shares the sentiment. However, he considers himself a fair robot and will allow Sonic a chance to save Tails. The robot speeds away for 5 minutes to set up this game. Metal Sonic explains that Tails is on top of the volcanic Mount Mobius, and he rigged it to blow very soon. As I said earlier, Metal Sonic took 5 minutes to get there and back. Sonic would take 30 minutes to cover the same distance, but the Hedgehog is willing to push himself to save Tails. Metal Sonic adds that along the way, he'll make things difficult for Sonic. And the organic Hedgehog is off, zigzagging along the path. Good thing Sonic practiced zigzagging earlier this issue. Sonic's actually making good time, but true to his word, Metal Sonic arrives to make the journey harsh. With Sonic knocked out, Metal Sonic speeds on ahead to Mount Mobius. Part 1 of the story ends with Metal Sonic mocking Tails that Sonic's not coming, and Tails not believing the lies. Our second story begins 10 years ago, during the time of the Great War. The Great War, for the record, was between the Kingdom of Acorn and the human-esque Overlanders. The king tells Robotnik, at this point known as Warlord Julian, and Snively that they've been working too much. Robotnik says there's a war going on and slacking off is not an option. His work on medical technology would greatly benefit the king's people. And with that, the king leaves them alone. Snively's embarrassed that Robotnik was sucking up to the king, but Robotnik says it's to cover their real plan. Create a cyborg army to take over the kingdom. Since using locals could mess up the plan, Robotnik plans to use people in the outer reaches of the kingdom. In said outer reaches, a group of monkeys are playing a game. Ken, holding the ball, gets a bit rough on his opponents. Ken's father and community leader Lord Lau calls Ken out on this behavior. Here we have two different points of view. Ken likes to fight and is very good at it, and he worries that in wartime, how could their village defend themselves without fighting? Lord Lau is the opposite. The village of Laying West are a community of pacifists and artisans, and they declared neutrality to the war. He believes there's no conflict that can't be resolved through a nice old chit-chat. Tell that to Robotnik, who's arrived to take them prisoner. After a bunch of off-panel experimentation, only one subject survived the cybernetic transformation, Ken Khan. Before he considers the whole cyborg army a failure, he wants to test Khan's new abilities, so he lets them loose on a group of Overlanders. He easily takes them out, and Robotnik is pleased. But since Robotnik murdered his family and friends, Ken will never work for him. Fortunately for Robotnik, he's prepared for a mutiny. The experiment's declared a failure, and Robotnik will seal Khan until he finds a way to control the cyborg. 10 years later, Monkey Kong wakes up strapped to a table, and Eggman greets his new toy. The first part of Heart of the Hedgehog is a nice change compared to the recent Sonic Adventure arc. There are significantly less characters and the conflict is more personal. We get a chance to see some Sonic Tails dynamic before it hits the fan. Sonic played the role of playful mentor in the beginning because he's worried for his little buddy. As mentioned in the summary, while Tails could handle himself to a point, he could always get better. Practice makes perfect. When Tails went missing, Sonic did show actual concern and showed genuine anger when Metal Sonic revealed himself. Metal Sonic is out for revenge. Not only is this the same unit from the Knuckles Chaotix special, but from way back in issue 25. And he more than likely remembered his humiliating defeat in that issue because a good chunk of the initial conflict was him toying with Sonic with his fast speed, though he did have the advantage of a power gem. When he got bored tossing Sonic around, he came up with a new game called Try to Save Tails from a Volcano While I Hunt You Down. He just wants to make Sonic suffer physically and emotionally before he kills him. And yes, I know what will happen to this Metal Sonic. I'm going to save it for next issue. But someone in the comments below might spoil it anyway, so don't scroll down, people. The art's a bit stylistic, but not bad. Though I do have a soft spot for this Metal Sonic design. I'm giving this story a 7. It's a good start to this two-parter. A good dynamic between the heroes, and personal stakes help drive the latter half of this tale. In our second story, we finally get the tragic backstory for Monkey Kong. We learn his name's originally Ken, and that he's always had a fighting spirit. And I believe it was said spirit that allowed him to survive Robotnik's experiments. The rest of Ken's villagers, his father in particular, were artisans who believe in peace. It was probably thanks to that mindset that they didn't survive the procedures. Now, I'm all for peace, it's just that there are people out there that will take advantage of peace lovers. Like this guy. You know, I find it odd that Monkey Kong waited until he defeated a group of overlanders before he went after Robotnik. You would think after being changed, he would target the fat guy almost immediately cause he killed his entire village and all that. But this was the point Robotnik decided to seal him until he can find a means to control Monkey Kong. The story then shifted to present day, with Monkey Kong a prisoner of Eggman. It treats this moment like they're old acquaintances. Here's the thing, Eggman's from a parallel universe. Long story. There are two possibilities why Eggman's interested in Monkey Kong. A. He built his own Monkey Kong in his universe and is aware of the control issues. Or B. He stumbled upon Robotnik's notes about Monkey Kong, and his conversation with the cyborg Simian was just a little mind screw. Either way, Monkey Kong's currently his prisoner. The art's nothing to write home about. It's Frank Strom, and I've commented on his work a few times by this point. I'm also giving this story a 7. We see what lengths Robotnik would do in order to get his robotic army to conquer the world. Plus again, there's Monkey Kong's tragic origins. Next time, can Sonic save Tails before he gets a lava bath? And what does Eggman have planned for Monkey Kong? Well, until then, have a good day, and be safe. No matter how many times I see this, Snively with hair is just weird.